don't pick Tomb. People pick Tomb against them, and then they are able to win here. How much of a difference does it make for a team playing from a first pick or second pick position?
That can be a huge difference if you're not used to whichever one it is. If you're used to first pick and you're on second, it can throw you off a lot. But if they are 6-0 on this map, I feel like this is definitely the place to go to start the comeback.
Same bans once again. So as we said before, Liquid has been banning Tracer for weeks. They just don't want to deal with a hero. They feel that it's the biggest threat to them. And Liquid again with the Tracer ban here. Zealots on the other hand, they've been looking at what Liquid has been doing over the last few weeks. Sportbilly's impact on Garrosh in any game and on pretty much any map has been very significant. So what we're seeing from Zealots is just deciding for at least the series, at least it seems so, let's make sure that they don't get Garrosh and take it from there.
But Medivh is still up.
Yeah.
For Zealots.
But right now you're actually in a position where Medivh is going to become interesting if they don't pick it here, because depending on what Liquid does, you could, from the Zealots' point of view, go into a Medivh Diablo pick on the 2-3.
Yeah.
So it's interesting if Medivh is not picked and if Diablo isn't picked here, how Liquid reacts to that when they have their own choice.
That's true. Even taking one away is always a good tool. Yeah. We'll see what happens here. Zealots are about to pick up.
Yeah, so
first pick?
So far, Zealots has been setting up their composition as opposed to just straight up taking the, you know, what we know as the OP heroes, and it looks like they're more or less doing a similar thing here. Hanzo getting a ton of priority recently, really rising up the ranks, but still not the Medivh, not the Maiev.
But this is now a setup in which we're actually seeing Zealots for the first time in the series having first pick. Okay, so Blaze Fury, and this is the opening at Zealots. This is the exact reverse from what we've seen before. The question for me is, now you have Hanzo Arrow, and you could use Medivh and Diablo again. Do you pull that trigger?
It's definitely possible, but I would say Team Liquid is already better equipped to deal with this than last time. Malfurion has the cleanse, which activates on every single target he has regrowth on. So if he is not getting hit by the arrow, he could technically cleanse his entire team, everyone that gets hit, and at the same time he will have Ice Block at 13. So if he's fast enough, he could just never get hit and always protect his team. Blaze as well with the bunker. I'm really liking the way Team Liquid is starting out this draft.
They're basically just stealing the draft.
Yeah, like, we can't beat it, so you show us how to beat it.
So next pick is going to be, let me see.
It's going to be Genji or Maiev. It's going to be one of the two. That's what Team Liquid did last time. Genji or Maiev.
No, I mean, like, if Team Liquid just starts copying the draft or the Zealots, then we're definitely going to see a Medivh pick coming up next.
Plus tank. I want to know if we get Medivh here, and we do.
Ooh. Medivh Diablo, there it is, as just speculated.
So now they have the CC train like crazy. Dragon Zero, Diablo in, APOC. Also just keeping Diablo alive has always been a good tool here with that Force of Will and Teleport.
Yeah, and I think this Medivh Diablo pick is a lot more... It's a lot easier to counter than last game, because this time around, Team Liquid has not picked any of their damage dealers, which means they can fully optimize to deal with a Diablo Medivh composition, whereas last time they've pretty much locked themselves out when the Diablo Medivh appeared.
The really dangerous thing is, I feel that with Diablo Medivh, the way we are seeing it played a lot by especially Zealots, but in Europe in general, is the wombo combo is awesome, but you're not depending on it. Just the fact alone that you can portal Diablo out and that Diablo can aggressively engage whenever he wants to because he knows the portal is going to be there will allow Mobsio to be just so in Team Liquid's face, and that makes it very, very dangerous, especially when Blaze isn't there at the beginning of the game here when he's going to have his bottom lane.
You were speaking about optimally picking up assassins on the opposing side that can deal with the Hanzo and Diablo a little bit better. What are those heroes that come to mind for you, Van, right away?
It really depends on how they want to play it, because not only do you have to deal with team composition, you have to remember that this is Tomb, and wave clear is extremely important on this map. So while you can pick the obvious heroes that will kill Diablo as quickly as possible, you can also go the other way around. Right now, Medivh, Hanzo, Diablo, those are in the rotate. So 3 out of their 4 heroes in the rotate have pretty bad wave clear. Medivh obviously has portals between lanes, which helps, but if you can completely out-wave clear them, that's another way to just kind of beat the composition through the map.
Is Junkrat something that jumps to your mind a little bit here, helping with portal control?
Junkrat
wave
is,
clear?
Yeah, very good against the Medivh, very good in terms of wave clear. However, it is really bad at killing Diablo. So it's kind of like, they have to pick which one they want. Do they want to win the map? Do they want to win the fight? Or you could pick something like Tychus that kind of goes down the middle, decent wave clear, decent against Diablo.
They definitely have to make a few adjustments. They haven't played Tigers on the map yet. To be honest, looking at what Team Liquid played in the 6 games they played on Tomb, and which they haven't lost yet, the Zealots have picked a lot of it away. They banned Garrosh out, they banned Maiev out, they took Hanzo. Those are like 3 of the key heroes that have been chosen by Liquid in the past on the map here. So they don't have access to all of that yet. So they will have to deviate a bit around it one way or another. One hero that still comes to mind when we're looking at least at majors is of course Gul'dan.
Yeah.
We have Hazorps on Gul'dan, that's always an option. You have the wave clear, and especially having the Horrify can just be that one tool during the fight if he fits. But in this case, they're going for Junkrat. They have played Junkrat also twice on the map. Both of the times obviously successful. And again, the Anubarak choice, which we've seen from Liquid more and more sort of the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks actually.
They seem to really pride themselves on finding that one moment where Zealots can, or any opposing team can win the team fight and cocooning it out right away. We saw it against Kyriels in the past, we've seen it against Medivh as well, and Team Liquid will be looking for that. But do they have enough kill pressure? What will they need to get for their 5th pick here, Fan, to be able to really set themselves up well?
They can really go with whatever they want at this point. I think they've set up their composition extremely well this time around. With the Malfurion, it's more than likely that they will win the early game. Blaze is almost certainly going to beat any other solo laner in the 1v1 bottom just by out-clearing. And Junkrat has the wave clear covered. And on top of that, you have like your 3-second CC plus the boops in your 4-man. So they can honestly pick whatever they really want to. Gul'dan is not outside of the question. I would pick something that is more oriented towards the team fight for Team Liquid as their last pick, seeing as how they've already covered all the map requirements.
Dehaka! We haven't seen him in a while on Tomb of the Spider Queen, but he does bring a nice wave clear and pretty quick rotations too.
Yeah, and the Stukov to round it out, and you know, once again, I just want to mention yet again, you see whenever Zealots pick Stukov, they don't just pick Stukov without thinking. They always pair it up with another Protect. We see the Medivh there because they know that that hero, it's very offensive. It's not a defensive support whatsoever.
Last pick for Liquid, a bit more damage. So let's see what that's going to be. Zealots again with a really nice setup here. And, I mean, Zealots have the 2-0 right now, so Liquid really needs to come through on this one. This is the best map by far. It's really interesting because Liquid has won both of the series against Zealots in 2018. Both of them. One of them with the 3-1, the other one dropping 2 maps. But right now, if this is also going to be the first time that Liquid actually loses in 2018 on Tomb of the Spider Queen here in the playoffs, it would be crazy. But big shout out to Zealots already today. Like, they really stepped it up from league play in the previous weeks.
We'll be finishing with a Genji. Junkrat can bring in some poke, help lock down targets, and Genji finds the kills. I don't know. Is it enough?
After watching the last 2 games, I'm just really scared for Liquid. It feels like Liquid doesn't really find their... I don't want to say identity, but it feels like more the way to play and how to get into these games, whereas Zealots is just slapping them around however they feel.
They feel a little lost, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Are they going to be able to find the roadmap here, Fan?
I think they need to win early game and kind of snowball the game if they want to win. If they took a pick like Greymane Tychus, something with percent damage for that last slot, they would be a lot better off in the late game because they can put pressure on the Diablo.
Sure.
With a Genji Junkrat backline, you are not killing the Diablo if he makes it to late game and he scales up. But you are very strong in the early game, so they have to make that early game strength count.
All right, so let's pick the drafts here. Caldor, you first.
I mean, I think that Zealots with the setup are just too strong. Having the setup with Medivh and Diablo in the first place, it just feels always absolutely insane. The synergy between the 2 Polish players on the Zealots lineup is just always so strong on these heroes. So I think Team Liquid is going to struggle with that a lot.
And you, Fan?
I'm going to go with Team Liquid this time. I think they have a very strong early game draft, and this is their map, Tomb of the Spider Queen. They're 6-0. I trust they know how to snowball on this map if they haven't lost confidence per se, so we'll have to see what happens.
Let's go. Game number 3 here. Last chance for Team Liquid to earn a victory, or they'll be knocked out of the playoffs, and we'll have Zealots moving forward to face off against Method tomorrow.
Game number 3 and potentially the last map in the best of 5. We have Tomb of the Spider Queen, Team Liquid going up against the Zealots who have the 2-0 lead over their opponent. To the left, Hazorps for Team Liquid on Junkrat, Eternal on Blaze, Nurok on Genji, Splendor on Malfurion, and Sport Billy once again on Anubarak.
On the right side in the red, ADRD on Medivh, Chris on Hanzo, Mopsio on Diablo, Shad on Stukov, and Zarmany to play Dehaka.
So far, Zealots have absolutely dominated this best of 5 here in the playoffs, but now Liquid on their best map trying to take it back and start the comeback here. 6-0, Team Liquid. They have chosen the map only once, but played it 6 times, and they have not lost once. Can the Zealots turn it around here? Once again, relying upon ADRD on Medivh and the Diablo frontline.
Dahaka level 1, tissue regeneration coming in there. This has actually been more popular as of late in Europe, trading out that moon speed that you would get for the other level 1 pickup, and instead are looking for a little bit more sustainability. Dahaka has been picking that pretty often. I dabble with it a couple times. You feel pretty tanky when you finish it off there. Able to take some poke too, and what does Team Liquid have? They have some decent pokes, so not a bad pick for them.
Liquid, of course, with this, they have to be winning the other game. They're going to try and get the double turn in here, ideally, of course. This is a map that they definitely know to play by heart. It's not only Liquid. The old Misfit lineup, just back in the days, was also very, very known for their performance on this map. But right now, the first kill goes to Zealots as they are taking down Anubarak, once more playing around Stukov's silence and Diablo with the engage. So a quick early pick against Anubarak, taking Sport Billy down. And not the start that Liquid was hoping for here. Zealots continuing the momentum from the previous 2 games.
Zealots are just on fire this weekend. If you're Method right now and you're watching this series, there's a good chance that Zealots will be facing off against you tomorrow. You really got to think, how do we clog up this engine that they're running with right now? Because Zealots seem unstoppable.
To be honest, most teams that I talk to, being in the playoffs or not, expected Team Liquid to move into the match against Method and to face off against them. But Zealots have just really stepped it up since they fell into that little slump they had over the past 2 weeks, and it's super impressive to see that. Mopsy has been talking about how he feels the pressure and the situation that they're in is actually working in their favor. And I didn't believe it at the time, but right now he's proving himself right.
Zarmany continues to be in here on the double soaking, helping out with the bottom lane and the middle wave, trying to finish off that level 1 quest as soon as possible. Goes for a drag, doesn't really connect, and that means Dahaka will have to head back to his lane, and he'll be doing so.
But Team Liquid is just such an interesting spot to be in, and such a sad one as well. Hazorb has been continuously talking about how important offline events are to him, how it's definitely the one thing that he wants to accomplish with his team. They've been voicing throughout 2018 how it's the most important thing for them to make it to the mid-season brawl, to make it to BlizzCon, to be able to go to Western Clash. They missed the Clash, but they had such a good setup here to make it at least into the match against Method. And now, once again, Liquid is just 1 map away from being eliminated from that run to the mid-season brawl. And that just, I feel at this point, this is already something that you are at least thinking about. And that does probably not really put them into a good mindset here.
That's really something that kind of tears on my heartstrings for both of these teams. I mean, Team Liquid has been talking about it for a while, how they want to get back to the LAN events. Zealots, for the first time this year, finally were able to do so at the Western Clash. It was a big goal for them, and they were wanting to get to the MSB. They started to fall off pretty hardcore there, and suddenly they just bring it all together here on this weekend, and now they still have a chance to actually go to that Clash. So while dreams might be being dashed right now for Team Liquid, Zealots' dream continues to live on. But again, we are still in this best of 5 series. There's always the chance for a reverse sweep.
Yeah, and here comes the attack against the bot lane. Zarmany needs to be careful here, but ADRD is there, helping him out, and that little gank that Team Liquid set up to turn the tide has not been successful. In the meantime, the pressure play in the mid lane is just continuing. Once again, Nuro coming in, trying to get some easy damage on Chris. And that worked out so far, but they're starting to lose hit points on the structures. And of course, if you're able to pull it off with the early night camp, then you are going to make the next Web Weaver wave so much more impactful too.
They're also a little bit behind in gems here, missing a couple so far. Zealots have done a good job of denying them said gems, and Zealots are actually going for a bit of a turn in here. Have a total of 24 dropped off to the 9 of Team Liquid, with 39 still available for TL.
There's a lot of interrupt potential, especially on the side of Team Liquid that they have here, but also the scatter arrow, obviously. Hazorbs in trouble, is able to move out, at least for now. No cooldown ready for Mopsio to punish him here in the last second. Nurok also finding himself dropping a lot of HP at that bot lane brawl that we had between Dahaka and ADRD, both of them moving in, and more gems are being turned by the Zealots. We've been talking how Liquid has to kind of start winning the early game, and currently they are miles away from it. They're losing Blaze here now too. The second kill for Zealots. They lose the hero, they lose the gems, and at this point, Zealots are just so close to the first turn-in.
I think that's about 15 gems too, and they're going to lose Nurok too. Sport Billy goes in to try and save him, but suddenly he's locked down, and we're about to have a drag available for Zarmany. Ooh, he barely misses it. But they do get 2 pickoffs, and the rest of Zealots, although low on health, are getting topped off and going for a turn-in. Dahaka turning in his gems. There it is.
Zealots are playing this so well right now. Web Weavers come in, 3 kills against 0, and they are again a level ahead. And of course they are starting to scale here. The more souls are being picked up by Diablo. He's sitting at 100 right now. 31 stacks on ADRD's quest on Medivh. Now the Web Weavers are moving in. They already soften up the walls here. The Zealots definitely in a prime position now to move in and start to take down structures and maybe even a fort already.
And this is terrifying. They're already a level ahead. They can jump easily to level 9, 9.5. They get a couple of picks too. They're well on their way to level 10. Scorpio gets engaged upon. A root comes out from Splinter to make sure that he stays alive, but the theme continues. Zealots force any fights they want and continue to shut down Team Liquid. There goes another turret. The experience continues to jump up.
The Zealots are everywhere at this point. They are 9.5 nearly, and they have heroes on every single lane starting to push. Now Medivh rotated into the mid lane, coming from the top, where only Genji is defending, as we have the Zealots pushing through the middle, trying to not only obliterate the fountain, but also get a few hit points off that fort early on. Again, Diablo protected. You just can't kill that guy. They're trying. They're 5 heroes here at this point, but Mopsio is still surviving, and he is just going in again against Eternal, trying to get the body block there. The Haka is looking for the drag. Doesn't connect quite yet. Mopsio, no fear, not afraid, no shame, going in again. Low HP Diablo that is very well aware how much support he has every time he moves in, and therefore is not afraid at all.
Team Liquid getting desperate in that fight, trying to find that kill, but just couldn't secure it. And Zealots, meanwhile, hit level 10. They start Giants here to the south, and if they get a few more gems, a good 20, they'll be able to go in for a second turn in the game. If that happens before Team Liquid can hit 10 or even win a fight, they're going to start getting snowballed on.
Now, Liquid knows how to play the long game on this map too. They have been in situations where they lost keeps and were still able to turn it around. The game against Dignitas comes to mind here in particular, where they just held strong for so long, for nearly 30 minutes, and at some point finally turned it around. But it's of course not an ideal position to be in, and Zealots, with the lead they have, are trying to just expand that advantage by moving in through the bot lane, taking more structures, and Liquid can't really defend. You cannot really go in against this when you know that Medivh can portal your opponent into you, and they rely on level 10 abilities already. The Siege Giant camp the Zealots just took is just adding insult to injury here, making sure that the bottom fort is also now heavily being pressured. Liquid at this point, I mean, they really need the mental strength to just say, okay guys, let's wait for our moment and then take the fight. But it's going to be a momentous effort, a monumental effort if they are able to turn this around.
The worst part too is they're behind a Medivh composition. And when you're behind a Medivh composition, Medivh will keep tabs on you when your opponents are ahead. They will consistently take what they can for free. We've got that fort taken, as you mentioned, in the bottom left corner. Zealots starting to have enough gems here pretty soon here to go for that turn-in. Team Liquid, on the other hand, wanted to go for their own turn-in, and with 10, they'll try and force it. They already have a Night Camp pushing in the middle lane to get a little bit of pressure.
This is the moment. This is really where Liquid has to make a bit of a move there. They need to use the level 10 ability as their own even talents with the Zealots to get that turn-in. If Zealots start to snowball turn-ins now too, that will be a disaster. That could be the final straw here that tips the entire match in favor of the Zealots. So right now, they are trying to turn in. Eternal is always there at the point. But you've been talking about Medivh's vision. That's not the only problem. Hanzo is there too, and he provides it the entire time.
That he does. And Zealots are just buying time here. They don't mind sitting around and poking, slowing down Team Liquid. They're a level away from level 13, at which point Diablo can start to really charge it up there. It starts to get ready for his combo. There goes an engage on top of Blaze. Shad goes in for the silence too.
Isolation being used. Here comes the ley line. APOC, and this could be the end of Blaze, and it is. Down he goes. That's the first kill. Diablo is in trouble. Splendor as well, though. Diablo goes down, but so does Malfurion. A 2-for-1 trade here in favor of Zealots, and Diablo comes back to life. He had the 100 souls. He's back to business, and now Zealots can go for an easy second turn-in for themselves.
Good news though, Team Liquid at least gets Diablo reset on so it'll be squishy for a little bit. Bad news is we're 2-mana Spider Queen. It's easy to stack that up.
Yeah, and you lost 2 heroes to make that happen. And the turn-in.
I mean, sometimes that's worth it. When you have a squishy Diablo, it might be worth it, especially if they don't have a Medivh on the opposing side. That's the main hindrance, the main hang-up here is that Medivh is still here, meaning Diablo is still terrifying.
Yeah, he is definitely right now in a spot where he is going to always put the pressure on the Liquid, as we just saw. I mean, he dove deep for that engage against Blaze just because he wanted to prevent the turn-in, and that worked well. And by the way, throughout all that aggression at the front, Chris in this game can do whatever he wants. There's zero pressure on him, like none. Every now and then Genji is thinking about trying to jump on him, but Chris basically has all the space in the world. He can do whatever he wants here because all the attention is away from him. every time it's on Medivh, it's on Diablo in particular, and of course also the silence around Stukov. So Chris is just having a super easy game. He's probably playing with a single hand here.
Zealots continue pushing in the middle wave. 3 Web Weavers coming in, level 13 for them as well. They are looking to siege down this keep. Junkrat trying to dissuade that by dropping down a couple of mines. Root comes out from Malfurion to make sure the Medivhs can go for the engagement. That means Root's going to be down for a little bit, meaning Zealots can force a fight under this keep if they would like, especially with the Spall Aura being available.
Yeah, Keep is already taking damage. Blaze had to defend the bot lane, and now Zarmany is coming in here in the middle too. They took down a keep 6 minutes into the second game. Now in the third game, they're trying to do the same thing again. The combo is there. The arrow misses. Chris with a slight misplay, a bit too early here on the arrow. They don't get a kill from the heroics. Can they still take down the keep though? Splendor, by the way, needs to be extremely careful. He's nearly falling here. Reptile comes out. Not enough damage for now, but the keep is still there. Can they take it down? Can they poke it? Doesn't seem likely. They're moving away.
You gotta be careful here. Chris doing some decent damage there, but Hasselhoff's low, finally getting healed up from Splendor. So Team Liquid, they hold. They at least have their keep here in the middle. It's low, it's down to a quarter health, but they still keep it so they don't have to deal with catapult pressure. And they're all on the way to level 13, half a level away.
If that arrow had connected, or if the combo would have at least yielded 1 kill, then the keep would have been gone for sure. You're still very far ahead and you have the talent advantage. And now there's another advantage that you have through running Medivh. You know exactly what your opponent is doing. So you can simply go for the boss, and whenever they come to the top, you're going to be ready to just move back or say, okay, this is still a fight that we're willing to take. So right now, the Zealots, with an easy boss, Liquid can get the turn in now.
No, they can't. Dahaka's been delaying for a long time so far, as well as ADRD. Okay, they finally get in the bottom.
They get it at the bottom, so this is again the trade. Your opponent took boss, you get the turn in, so you can defend against the boss. But you're also, so to say, waste a lot of gems to do it, or at least you sacrifice a lot of gems. It's a pretty resource-heavy move, and it's very unlikely that Liquid is going to get any structures out of the objective.
Well, Team Liquid will start working on that boss in the top left. Hasselhoff's got it down to about a half health. We'll let the Web Weaver clear it up himself. The rest of Team Liquid actually grouping up a little bit here in the middle, trying to force something out of this, knowing they want some experience, at least before Zealots hit level 16, while the rest of Zealots clear out the bottom wave.
Mobster in the meantime is just anchoring the side. It's trying to make sure that there's nobody rotating down to gank up on the players. So the wall is lost at all after all here. Zealots now with the defense, setting it up again. Web Weaver to the top is going to take a long time to reach anything here, but by now 16 has also dropped into the laps of the Zealots. 16 versus 14, 5 kills versus 1. Zealots are far ahead here.
Well, they are. Nurok up here nice and safe, staying away from Opsio. Medivh, Peter panning around, floating around, watching Nurok and Hasselhoff.
And top Web Weaver also being defended. Dahaka in the meantime all the way down to the bot lane here, and he's actually being ganked upon, so he needs to be careful, but of course Medivh is already there. Zarmany doesn't even need the help at this point, but there comes the drag. Apoc hits hard, there comes the kill. Junkrat is down, and they're going for it again. Going for the isolation. Blaze is hit by it, and they're rooting him down. Good job by Shat, using the 13 talent on Stukov to lock Blaze into the ground. He goes down as Chris delivers the final blow. That's the double kill. Zealots moving in again, making it a triple. Malfurion is dead, and that is at least a keep.
At least a keep. Could it be game 2? Maybe the cooldown's a little bit too low here. 13 minutes. They're going to grab the Night Camp to make sure they help out with pushing in this middle lane.
There's absolutely no reason you take the Night Camp if you don't want to go for potentially even core here.
Portal goes down, and they immediately move in towards the keep. 9 seconds before Blaze is back. Malfurion a good 14 seconds. Zealots posturing pretty aggressive here. They still have that Leyline Seal available.
Thing is, I don't think they can core. They use the Night Camp. I mean, stealing it away is already worth it. They are definitely going to get the keep here. The problem that they have now is, again, the low death timers.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the biggest problem that the Zealots have, that the death timers are so low that it's difficult for them to end fast enough. It's a pretty good problem to have, by the way.
They're getting this camp over here on the right, so they'll be able to have that Spell Aura camp in the middle with 3 Web Weavers going at the same time. So this could be their move to move in for the aggressive kill if they find a pick-off. Team Liquid, meanwhile, desperately looking for level 16.
I mean, right now, the Zealots have so many options. They could try for an aggressive move, find a kill, go for core directly. They can take more keeps down. It's also an easy goal for them. Focus on the bot lane, keep the Dahaka up at the top, and then burrow down whenever you find an opening and go in. Mobster is currently sitting at 93 souls again. Keep in mind, he died earlier once, so he's already insanely tanky. But if they kill him, he's going to be down for the count. Up to the top, there's Zarmany. Rest of the team is already moving through the middle. That actually de-pushed the bot lane to an extent too, so the keeps are both going to be pressured, but Liquid can't even defend the keeps because they have to worry about their core.
Zealots are on the cusp of 3-0ing Team Liquid. Team Liquid going to need the perfect defense just to hold this fast and push that's pushing in for them. Watch out for ADRD. Looking for that ley line seal. Mopsio has APOC at the ready.
And I mean, look at Liquid. They can't defend the keeps. They are so focused on the core. The top keep is already going to be under assault. Here comes the ley line. APOC should come out soon. Nope, there's the immediate cocoon, by the way. Genji is down, and that has to be it. Already the bottom keep is about to fall as well. The silence comes through. Is that going to be enough to hold them, at least for now? Not quite sure about that. Bottom keep is down, top keep is lower. Liquid has finally 16, but it's a 4 versus 5. Splender's in trouble. He is down just before he reaches the safety on the Nexus. Down goes Sport Billy. This is game. The Zealots take down Team Liquid and move on at the HGC playoffs. Still keeping the dream of mid-season brawl alive.
The Zealots were cold for a couple of weeks, but they have definitely found their composure, and they are on a hot streak right now. 2-0 in our last couple of days, a total of 6-0 when it comes to your actual maps as well. Zealots are just killing it.
Yeah, calm down. Yeah, it's like a 3-0 against Team Liquid.
Yeah. Like Tricky Sport, you can kind of see sometimes they're inconsistent, they fall a little bit. Team Liquid, I thought it'd be a bit of a closer match.
Yeah.
But they just smacked them down completely, fan.
Yeah, there's something about Zealots and running gauntlets, man. As soon as they're in a gauntlet, as soon as you put their backs to the wall, they're like Dignitas level or something. It's quite amazing to see.
Really good coordination between ADRD and Mopsio in particular, finding a lot of those combos. It got to a point where Team Liquid tried to stop it at the end. Cocoon came out on the Diablo, and that may have been the change-up, but Genji getting sniped by Hanzo. Scatter Arrow comes out and completely destroyed him. They were also really far behind in levels too, so a bit difficult for that defense, but I'm just impressed with Zealots right now, and now I'm excited for tomorrow. How is Method going to handle this team?
I honestly, maybe after yesterday, I could have seen, yesterday we got a glimpse of, okay, Zealots is getting back. So I was just like, okay, this is going to be more difficult for Team Liquid than I expected, because I had Liquid pegged as the favorite of the series before the playoffs started. Then you see the match against Tricked, and you're like, okay, Zealots apparently have found their stride. You don't know how much onus is on Tricked for that match, how much is really on the Zealots. But I never expected them to just like body and 3-0 Team Liquid like they just did.
Fan, this might be a hard question, but if you're a team that is playing on Sunday and you're looking at these matches this weekend, what have you learned about the Zealots that you could try to look at?
Well, I think the one good thing about playing Zealots is that they are somewhat predictable in how they're going to play. They have this certain play style. They have similar heroes that they like to run every game. But the thing is, you can't just cheese them or anything. If you want to beat Zealots at this point, I think you just have to outplay them. You have to beat them at their own game. So looking at that, you know what they play. You need to play better than that.
Ban out BOE and ban out Medivh. That's what I would do, man. First 2 steps right away, and then I would go on to lose 3-0. But still, a lot of things I learned so far from the Zealots. I'm actually super excited for tomorrow's matchup. Today, though, a big victory over Team Liquid. Team Liquid, man, your heart has to go out to them.
Yeah, but the thing is also when we're talking about tomorrow, Liquid was the one team that was stable in the playoffs. Tricked is always all over the place.
Sure.
Method has started off very strong in part 1, that they completely fell apart at the Western Clash, had massive problems afterwards. So Method was also in a situation where we're like, every time they are talking, they don't feel confident apparently. Yeah. They have a couple of games where they show some promise again, but can they really pull it off? And Liquid was the one team where everybody looked at and was just like, they're playing better than ever. This looks like 2017. They're playing better every single game, and now they just got completely bodied. So going into tomorrow, I have no idea what to expect from Method, to be quite honest, because I could see that going either way. But from Zealots, I mean, I'm scared.
I think we all are, seriously. Looking forward to tomorrow, see exactly how Method's going to be able to handle the Zealots. We're setting up for the interview here soon, so wait a second, and we'll get someone on top here to figure out what exactly is going on with this team. How did they get so hot out of nowhere? Did they really just finally find that one moment, that draft? Is it Blaze suddenly in the first pick again?
It's Mopsio's cooking.
Is it Mopsio's cooking?
Mopsio apparently is cooking for the entire time, like at home. Didn't he have an article on the HGC website or something like that? I don't know. Like he's always sending out those pictures on Twitter too. So maybe they're on the
pictures.
Maybe they're on the boot camp already, and he's like cooking for the team, and that's it. It's just like the diet that has changed.
Wow.
And all of a sudden they're like on point.
So cook for your teammates, and that's how you guys get victory. Let's go ahead and look at the updated bracket so far here for the HGC.
That's
as we prepare for tomorrow.
only true if Mopsio cooks for the teammates.
Oh, only Mopsio.
If I do it, then no. Pancakes every day.
Fan, what do you cook for your team?
I don't cook anything for my team. She
Dang,
cooks
dude.
a lot for the team.
You
though.
cook cereals, right?
Cereal,
Hot
yeah.
Pockets.
Sometimes I make
Cereal's good.
rice. Put the rice in the rice cooker. Easy.
What a nice guy. Well, Method and Zealot will face off tomorrow, and we will finally get the answer to the question, who will be our third team to represent Europe at the mid-season brawl? And to be quite honest, man, I'm okay with either of these two teams. I'm just excited to have a good best-of-5 series tomorrow.
Also, with how much of a run Zealots had at the Western Clash, as you said, it feels like, first of all, the gauntlet scenario that you alluded to, but also the just offline setup. That seems to be where they thrive. If they're already this strong, just like thinking about the offline event, that I'm absolutely happy if they go to the mid-season brawl and represent Europe there.
Well, we'll be getting Shad here in a moment, and I gotta ask him what is the secret here, because at Western Clash was like, okay, maybe it's just Shad, you know, just carrying with Stukov, finally showing the world how OP this character is. Because
Admiral Gonzalez.
Yeah, Admiral Gonzalez coming in and leading the charge, but they didn't even play Stukov that much today. They didn't play him once, right? Like,
No, last game.
Yeah,
okay,
once. Only once.
They only played him once. They only needed Shad on Stukov once to win. That's crazy. Let's go over to Shad right now, who actually looks to be ready to go. Shad, welcome to the HGC. Congratulations on your big victory today. And I'm just going to ask you, straight up, man, what is the secret? Why are you guys destroying right now?
Well, no, I hope it's not the same as last season and we make it instead of losing on the last match.
Sure. Well, you're going to be playing against Method,
Yeah,
I
I don't
guess.
know.
Let's go ahead and
We're
just talk about that.
We're just playing good again, so feels good.
Well, good to hear. Tomorrow you are facing off against Method. Do you think this continued hot streak will continue? You are currently 6-0 right now.
Yes, I think so. I think we can beat them. And yeah, I think we've been playing much better than the last weeks of HGC. So I think we found our way to play again, and we can beat them.
Awesome. Over to Caldor.
Tell me why. You've been talking about you guys play better, but what has changed? Is it just that you guys say, okay, we need to go to the offline event, the extra motivation? Did something in scrims change for you? Like, where does this come from?
I have no idea.
If you don't know, how are we supposed to know?
I just come here, I play, and it's going better than before.
Okay, outside of that, talk a bit about Method. What's the one thing that you, like, how strong would you rate them compared to Team Liquid? Like, if you go into the playoffs, who's the team before today's match that you're worried about them more? Team Liquid or Method?
I was more worried about Team Liquid, but I don't know if we are performing extremely well or they underperformed today. So I don't know what to say. Like coming from, if you ask me this on day one, I would say Team Liquid. But after today, I don't know if we're playing out of our minds or if Team Liquid had a bad day, because we dominated them much more than I expected. I thought, okay, we can win it, we're gonna win, but I think we won really hard.
Okay, one more question. We had Mopsio in here yesterday, and he talked a bit how you guys scrimmed a lot against Liquid, how he felt, okay, both teams understand each other very well, and it comes down to drafting and, of course, and also execution. When we're talking about Method, how much in the past few weeks have you scrimmed against Method? So how familiar are you with them as an opponent?
No, not much, really. Not a lot. We have screamed Liquid more than them.
Okay, awesome.
So we don't, I guess they don't know a lot. Well, they know what to expect from us because they see us play, but we don't know what to expect from them.
All right, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's games, especially after what you showed today. That was really impressive. Good job.
Thank
Fan, you got anything for Shad?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a superstitious guy myself, so if you guys don't know the reason why you're performing so well, if you make it to midseason, I'm telling every team there, whatever you do not knock Zealots into lower bracket, because we're all good. But I wanted to ask you about a little bit about the draft and your pick specifically. You know, Caldor mentioned at Western Clash, we saw you on Stukov almost every game. But today, for example, you've only played it 1 out of 3 games. Is the priority for you specifically lowering, or could you explain a little bit more in regards to that?
Well, I guess Malfurion is really, really strong. But I'm comfortable with Stukov as well. And I think the team is comfortable because we can pair Stukov with other stuff that helps him. Like we can play Medivh. We played Medivh Stukov this game. So them coming and bursting us because we have a Stukov who just heals once and then everyone can die instantly. It's not a problem because we have Medivh.
Yeah.
But yeah, in general, we really like Stukov. I really like Stukov, but I mean, I think Malfurion is just a bit better. especially because he has cleanse.
Okay, yeah, it's good to hear the
Uh,
thoughts on that. I mentioned a little bit
and
about that as well. Oh, sorry, continue.
yeah, I think the only difference is that we don't need to prioritize Smart Fury on that match, maybe, because we're more comfortable. We're maybe more comfortable than some teams on Stukov.
Yeah, it
I'm not
definitely
sure,
looks like it.
but
I would agree.
we don't need to prioritize supports that much. We have played Karasin before in the past as well. Now that he got some buffs to the healing, so yeah.
It's pretty awesome that you're flexible on all these supports.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Admiral Gonzalez, and we enjoy hearing so much from you about supports. Before I let you go, though, shoutouts are available, and tell us why we should be ready for tomorrow's matchup, man. I want to hear you get excited.
I mean, I don't know what to say. I think we will beat Method tomorrow. I hope it's a 3-0 again.
No, no,
Give us
no.
5 games,
You
please.
Dude, you had 2 3-0s already. I deserve 5 games to cast tomorrow. For the last match,
mean,
I want 5.
I want to win.
You
I mean,
can
a win is a
win.
win, I guess.
You can win,
Okay,
but 5.
just a win. I don't mind.
Okay, there we go.
So yeah,
That's my
thank
point.
you to everyone who supports us. Thanks to everyone watching us, Twitch chat, people on Twitter cheering for us. I see a lot of tweets. And yeah, thank you everyone. And shout out to the Spanish community for being very supportive towards me as well. And that's all. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Chad. So Zealots get another 3-0 today as they take out Team Liquid. Impressive run from them so far. Have yet to drop a map this weekend. And we'll see if they can continue that trend tomorrow as they face
No.
off against Meth.